Hello and welcome to the Cabinboyknits Woolcast, coming to you deep from the Canadian forest.
This is Christopher.
And this is the other guy,
Jamie.
We finally went to a maple sugar shack and we're going to take you with us.
We're going to talk about Christopher's finished object and an update on my knit-along.
And we have lots of wool to talk about. We're going to talk about Merino and Gotland and Stein.
Stein.
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to talk about the Grey Sheep Company.
And we're going to check out what's in my dye pot. So sit back, grab your favorite drink, and we'll tell you our stories. Okay, did you notice that we are missing something from the table?
No, but I see something on the table.
We're missing flowers. We usually have flowers here.
That's right.
And the flowers aren't up yet. However, one of our trees has flowers on it, and that's the hazelnut tree.
We didn't even know we had a hazelnut tree up until, I don't know, was it the end of the season last year?
Yeah, I think so.
And what's exciting is, the flowering is the first time ever, because it's a young tree and it's just lost amongst the peach trees.
It's right in between the peach trees.
Yeah, and we had no clue what it was. And because it's flowering, that means we're probably going to have some hazelnuts.
Yep, it's flowering catkins.
Catkins, like kitty cat.
So these little tails that hang down, and they look like cattails. So catkins is a derivative of cattails.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
It is really exciting, but let's get into something that's even more exciting, and that is the eggs that we received from Donna.
Oh, yes.
They are beautiful. They're really nice.
Absolutely special. And mine looks just like, I'm claiming that it's mine only because it matches my cup.
I don't think there's any names on it. However, it does match your cup.
I'm assuming it matches the cup. And yours has diamonds shining brightly like a star.
That's for my sparkling personality, it must be.
Sparkles, yes, it's beautiful. And very special. Thank you so much.
And also, Donna gave us a great card and wrote a beautiful message on it. And very touching. And the card is of a cabin.
And we talk about messaging and people send us messages and it's very, very special. And, it makes it that much more special, as I said, and it's just very personal and very heartfelt. And we thank you for this. And it's it's like an engraving or one of those where it's printed by hand almost with one of those, what do you call that?
A lithograph? Is that what you're
where you ink and you roll it. That's what it looks like. It's that beautiful cabin in the woods.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And you got something else.
I got something a little special.
A very special, special note from Donna.
Yeah. And here is a 125-year-old recipe for dandelion jelly.
Yeah.
And it says that, Jamie, this is a lot of fun to make, and it tastes basically like a dandelion honey. So as soon as those dandelions come up, I am absolutely going to make this. So I'm going to pin it to my calendar, so when the time comes, there it is, dandelions come out, and we'll keep you up.
So this is what we'll do. So we'll harvest the dandelions, and then I'll take some for the dyeing.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll take some for the recipe, and we'll dig up the roots for the tea. So we can have jam with our coffee, our dandelion coffee tea, and
yes,
and look at the yarn, or do it while we are dyeing with dandelions.
Because the dandelion, as you mentioned, it's like what do you call that? It's like a mock coffee, but it has the scent of a coffee and the taste of a coffee. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so am I. That sounds great. So thank you so much, Donna.
Thank
Absolutely
you very
wonderful.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
The other thing that's on the table,
well, that I threw
is
in
the Canadian bunny beaver.
The bunny beaver. It's, you know, it's a derivative of a native to Canadian cabin territory only. It's just found in our backwoods. But we thought the bunny would be appropriate, and it's a beaver bunny. Where did that beaver bunny come from?
It came from Prince Edward County, just south of us. And we were at a fair, and there was a wonderful woman who she took pieces of, I think I talked about this a couple of years ago she takes two different pieces or two different animals and merges them together.
She basically upcycles stuffed toys. Upcycles stuffed toys, and she was a lovely, very interesting young lady.
Yeah.
And she comes up with these quirky things, and we bought two different ones, but this is the favorite. We had to haul it away from Zan because he thought originally it was his toy because he wanted to go after this thing. But it's the bunny beaver.
The bunny beaver.
The bunny beaver.
Awesome.
We're going to put him back.
Yeah, we'll put him right there. Right there.
I'm keeping my egg here.
Yeah, keep it away from me because I might take it. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I was on the Insta this week.
What's the Insta?
The Instagram, the thing that you're not on yet. I was on Instagram, and a couple of people tagged me because they were using our yarn. And so they were using our yarn for knitting.
Okay.
And they knit some great things. And so it was really exciting to see. It was fantastic.
Yes.
And Calvin bought some yarn, and it was orange and yellow. And so he posted a picture, and he posted socks. And the socks were amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so really amazing.
Cool. Really
and it's
cool.
the
really nice.
Zigzagular by Susie White.
Zigzagular.
Zigzagular.
I love that word.
And here's the thing that I loved about it. I loved it when I remember dyeing this skein of yarn, and I was focused on the color sequence in the yarn and less about the end about what people were going to do with it. I wanted to focus on. I was completely immersed or absorbed with the color, and so the way that it came out in a sock was so fantastic, especially his sock. I was amazed. Yeah. It looked so great.
Well, what's interesting, we've talked about this before because. Well, you've knitted a few socks with multicolor.
Yes.
And multicolor, depending how you dye it, and this was just the two colors. Correct?
Yeah, it was just the two colors.
Yeah, and with multicolor, we mentioned before how you want to sort of wonder how it might knit up, but that depends if you're. Yeah,
so it looked like this, but it was only orange and yellow.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's interesting because when you have the two colors, and depending on the size of the project, whether it be a sweater, so something this wide, or a sock, the pattern technically will repeat itself eventually.
Well, your sweater was like that, kind of, wasn't
it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can notice on that, the sweater I had, because on the collar being that much shorter, it would sort of looked almost a little more stripy, but then on the body, it was just sort of a mix. So very cool. But the sock being this narrow, it repeated itself in a very creative looking and very artistically looking pattern.
Yeah, so Calvin, you made our yarn look great, so thank you so much.
Exactly.
And the pattern was perfect for the socks. It was really nice.
Yeah.
So I'll put a link to that. And then the same week, Matthew had posted a picture, and it was arm warmers.
Okay.
Which is perfect for this time of year. And it wasn't only arm warmers. There was a bottle of maple syrup there as well.
Okay.
So it was perfect for her.
Yeah.
And it looked great. They looked fantastic. And that pattern is by Tiff Hand Knits. And the pattern is called Travel Arm Warmers.
Travel. We maybe needed those last year.
I think so. And they'd be perfect for cycling as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Or hiking. But it's perfect. So I just loved it. I was so inspired. So it was really nice to see.
Well, it's really beautiful to see something created with your yarn.
Yes.
Because you know, each batch that you do is unique, and so it's not like you knit up everything you dye with. You're going to knit something up, so you don't really see that. And we haven't been doing swatches, but when we see finished products from people out there, all of you sending photos, it's like, wow. That gives us an idea, and we have asked if we could use them, because if we have them on our website, you could actually see, and pretty much those examples will show what a lot of the different wools will pretty much look like.
Right.
The two color, or the very, you know, whether there be 6 colors, you get a really good idea of how that's going to knit up.
Yep. So thank you for that. Yep.
Yeah.
And I've also a bunch of others.
What?
About another,
What
a
did
whole
you
bunch
say
of them have come
exactly?
in. I've noticed there's a whole bunch of them, which I didn't even. I did hashtag Cabinboyknits and Instagram and saw a whole bunch of photos. So we'll be talking about other ones
You
as
haven't
well
shown
down
me
the road.
those. Any of
No,
those?
I don't show you
Oh
anything.
my gosh. He's always holding back on.
Okay, but one thing I did show you was my finished object. And so,
Well, how can I not see it?
the dog's been sleeping on it. Hold on.
He has too. Why would you put it on his bed?
Well, I didn't. I put it on the arm of his bed, but
Okay.
so I put it on the arm of his chair, and the next thing you know, his head's on top of it. I've been wearing this every day, and I love it. So I'm really happy with this pattern. It is the Winter Sailor pattern by Pickles.
So that means he needs to take up winter sailing.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. So this sweater was knit using custom Woolen Mills wool, so Canadian wool, and I dyed it in oak. I used the acorn and the leaves and the bark. So
And what is the stripe is
CVM.
natural.
Yeah, undyed.
Well, the color is amazing because you cannot get like I've never seen this color. That's what it's what you do. But this is like it's like almost like a golden camel, like a beautiful camel color, but
Yeah.
the gold side is so unusual and it's like very earthy. It's gorgeous.
And I just what were we gonna say?
Well, I was going to say, and close up, you'll see you could see the variation, a little bit of the variation in
Yes.
in the different skeins and the colors.
Yeah, because I was alternating between 3 different colors at any one time,
A little shade
except for here.
difference. It
So-
turned out amazing.
On the cuff, I decided to put the lines through here. And I didn't really do, I stuck to the pattern pretty much, except for the arms. The arms were tight on me when I was following the pattern, so I added, and you know what that's all about? it's
Big arms.
it's all about
It's all about the tattooed arm.
no, it's all about all the knitting I've been doing. It's had an impact on my biceps and my triceps.
I don't think so. Oh
So
my gosh.
anyway, for because of all the knitting I've been doing, my biceps and triceps have gotten much bigger, and so I had to.
Another reason to
do something.
knit. Another reason to knit. I'm not knitting half as much as you are. That's why I'm just
So I noticed on the arm it was too tight, and so what I did was I added 6 additional stitches on top of the 6 stitches that you were supposed to add to begin with, and then I left
Any increases?
and then what I did was I left a hole. So I finished knitting the entire sweater, and there were 2 holes under the arm. And what I did was I went back, picked up the stitches, and I knit in the round, and added 3 additional rows, and then I pulled my yarn together, and it's perfect. It's it's perfect.
Yeah, because you did say it was with this. What do you call this? Is this like a seam? This part here?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it felt like it was a little bit like pulling a little bit, and then but you
Why did you try it on?
maybe because it fits me perfectly. And but
Well,
then,
but if it fits you perfectly, then you have to.
no,
you have
but
to
then
do more
not
knitting.
anymore because you went ahead and blocked it.
Oh, that's right.
I liked it pre-blocked. It fit like a glove.
I love this sweater, and I wear it all every day, and this is exactly what I wanted.
And then I said, Christopher, what are you doing? You wear that sweater every day. You're gonna wear it out. And he said, well, I bought it. I said, I bought it.
Shame on you.
Oops, the secret's out. He did actually knit.
Oh,
He's so used to buying a new sweater. I can't believe I just said, well, he bought his new sweater. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Isn't that funny though?
I know.
Because, I mean, if I need a new
I can't
sweater,
remember
I
last
go
time I
buy
bought a
one. I don't
sweater.
make one. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth so naturally.
So
Anyway.
just to recap for this, or what were we going to say?
I don't remember.
This was my Thursday night sweater that I was knitting with the Thursday night group, and we were all working on a sweater, and then I missed a bunch of meetings or Thursday nights, and I felt way behind. They were like 3 projects ahead of me, and so I finally picked this up and then just finished it.
And I was going to say, because you wearing it, and I said, you're going to wear that thing out. I said, why are you wearing that every day? And you said, well, I made it so I could wear it as an everyday sweater.
I guess it's soft too, like a pillow, so I could see why Zan likes it.
It's gorgeous.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I'd recommend that pattern for sure. Speaking of patterns,
Patterns. What are we talking about?
We are talking about, I think it's a perfect time to talk about the KAL.
Oh gosh, I'm stressed about that already. In a good way.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a little challenge. Should I pull up what I've been up to?
I think you should.
Okay, this is what I've been up to. Let's see. Oh, let me try to grab this all together.
I'd love to know.
Oh.
Ooh, that's nice.
So I I put my foot in my mouth because
Again.
yeah. What do you think this is? I don't know how well you can see that, but we'll pull it up. It's all attached to these. I made cake again.
Can I say something first?
What are you gonna say?
I love this one. So when Jamie was knitting this,
Oh my gosh, the stress of it all.
well, there's lots of stress behind it.
And drama.
Because he's a perfectionist.
There's drama every
Oh
other
yeah,
row.
there's drama every other row.
Especially
However,
color
so he started
stitches.
knitting. And so it started to increase this way. And he said, oh, but I wanted this on the top.
I did. I said
I
that.
said, well, why don't you just turn it around?
Oh,
Because you're
God.
swatching.
I did. I said, shoot, it's upside down. It's backwards.
So I think that you've
And then
done a great job here.
every time I got to that. So, this is what I've come up with. Well, we already know what, and I made cake. Did I say that already? But I was not edible cake. So, yeah. We talked about the collar. And I talked about having a cream collar.
And there was
people
lots of impact.
oh my goodness, I was bombarded with like.
Lots of information on the collar.
It was like I did.
Feedback. Lots of feedback.
It's like I did a big folks paw.
Folks' paw.
Yeah,
Yes.
like what? You can't have cream on your neck because and your cuffs because dirt. And it's like, I wasn't one of those kids that got dirty in the sandbox. But I just like the look of it. And we were going through some of the patterns, and I saw a sweater that had cream around here, and that just emphasized I loved the look of it. Yeah. So this is kind of like the idea. So a cream collar, but I want it a little wider. So I want to add just a little bit of a blue rose here in the collar. Then the body will be the gray for most of the body. I'm going to do one fine line of pink on the gray right there, and then continue on. That'll be the only hint of pink. A touch of pink is a good thing. And then I'm going to have, the blue is going to carry on. I'm going to have a wide blue down here, and I'm going to finish off with the cream on the bottom and the cream on the cuffs.
Excellent.
And I might still introduce like the blue before I get to the cream. So it'll go from gray, the blue, just a few rows of blue, and then the cream, and finish with the cream. And then I love
What are they? What are they? Did you already talk about what these are?
Well, I've talked about.
Well, not necessarily the
them,
wool, but the dye.
Well, yeah, we have your dye color here on merino, but the gauge is almost exact. There's no differentiation there in the what I say.
Do you want to be a little more specific?
It's pink.
It's your
It's
dye.
Brazil wool. I mean, oh my God! See, do you know what it is? I haven't had my caffeine fix, and I'm having my usual latte. And usually I drink about half a cup before starting, and I didn't. It's Brazil wood.
Okay.
And there you have this beautiful pink. This is the natural Gotland, which I love. It's like a silvery pewter, and you can see that halo. It's so soft. Yeah. It's one of my favorite wools. And then my next favorite wool, this is the same exact wool, believe it or not, overdyed with indigo. Yeah. And it looks like a denim. It's stunning, stunning blue. That's why I want to add some of that. And then here we have Icelandic, I think it's Icelandic and Finn blend. And it's interesting because it's a Lopi, and the pattern calls for Aran, which this is Aran weight. But you know what? They're so close that you can't even tell the difference in the stitches.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, and that's natural as well. So yeah, because you could see that pink, there is no real difference. It's going to just work out just fine. So, the only thing is, I'm not sure about the needle gauge because we did some measurements, and this is a little bit loose, I think.
Yeah, so
I think what do I need to do? Go up or down?
Down. So you go down needle size.
So it'll be tighter, a little more tight. Yeah. But we didn't do the measurement to see if it was actually...
No. So what you're doing right now is all your pre-work before your kickoff. So you're doing all your prep work in order to do your cast-on party. which
Cast on party.
you're hosting
Am I having
on
a
Zoom.
cast on party?
Yes.
I'm having a cast on party. Get ready, girls and boys.
Yeah, I think the cast on party we're going to schedule for in 2 weeks. So I'll put a date on here. I'll
We'll
flash a
figure it
date.
out.
We'll figure a date.
And we'll let you know.
And so, what have you learned so far?
I learned so much. He had to show me how to make a cake because how long have
You
I
did a
been,
great job.
I've been knitting for a while now, and I've never made a cake, and so it's like, what are you talking about?
You've never made a cake out
He's
of
like,
the
why
kitchen.
why haven't you put got your wool prepared? I'm like, I don't know how to use that thing. I've never used it, and he couldn't even believe me. It's like, well, where have you been? Well, where have I been? Where have you been?
You asked me where the button was.
You always do. I know. I'm like, I was looking for the pedal. I was looking for the switch, and I'm like, waiting for it to do its thing. Anyway, it was easy, and I whipped those together, and I still have a few more to do because I'm going to have to I still have to figure out how much I need for the body
Yeah.
because I'm imagining my new body comes summer. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. So you've read a pattern.
And
Right.
I read the pattern. I'd made my cakes. I did a swatch.
Yeah.
It called for either 4 or 5 millimeter needles, and these are
Yeah.
the 5. So I think with this wool, it's a little thinner than I thought too, because it looks so puffy and bulky on here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one is.
It's just very fluffy and bouncy, and it's just got that squishiness to it, which is fantastic for a sweater. But I'm going to need to go down.
Well, and
right?
looking at your yarns they're different sizes. So
I just talked about that. I said they're so close you can't even tell the difference. Like they really, right here, they look close up almost exactly the same.
okay.
This one is the one that's a little. These three, well, they're both Gotland, and this Icelandic it looks the same. This one's a tiny, but when you hold them like this, they're really close.
Yeah.
That's why they're going to work, and I knew that going into it.
Okay. Excellent.
And then what else did I learn? We did some measurements.
We did some measurements.
Did the measurements.
Yep.
And I'm also, as a backup plan, going to use the sweater that was knitted for me for the last Rhinebeck we went to. I had one made because I wanted to wear a sweater, and I asked a very special lady who knits could whip one up in a few weeks, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use that as a base because it's bang on. Everything's bang on. So that's going to help as well.
Excellent.
Do I have to do this over again
Yes.
with the other needles?
Yes. Because you have to get
Well,
gauge.
no, if it doesn't work, then I know I'd have to, so why do I have to do it again?
Because you don't know if
That's like a make-work project.
it's practice.
What did...
It's practice.
Wait a minute, what did Stephen West suggest we do?
Oh, wrapping it around.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so if you want to figure out what your colors are, you take cardboard or anything board and then wrap around. That way you're not knitting, you don't have to knit, and you can just see how the color works. So you could do white, blue, pink, gray.
Yeah, and that makes sense, because I mean with Stephen West, if he's going to do 28 colors in one pattern, I mean, really? Are you going to really use, it makes sense if you just do this. You
28 colors in one row.
Exactly. It's like my eyes. I was like, oh, my eyes. I just went blind. But yeah, why not just wrap it around and you could kind of switch it up and see what.
But you're happy with this color sequence? Are you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely. It's exactly how I imagined. But this, I do. Thank all of you out there, because even though I'm going to do partly, I thought I'll do partly cream and partly blue. Someone suggested the blue collar, and I thought of just doing blue as the collar, but I really like the lightness of the cream. Okay. So I added the blue as well to the collar, and that was a suggestion.
Yep. But and why did they say the blue?
'Cause it'll make something pop. My eyes. Blue's my favorite color. I almost changed my name to. Do you know that I
Jamie Blue?
Yeah, I did. I thought about it for years. But because there was Blues.
Isn't Cher's son named Elijah Blue?
What? Okay, forget it. No, there was a Blues bakery in Sudbury at the turn of the century.
Was it bleu or blue?
Picture it, Sudbury, 1898. No, I don't know what year it was, but there was Blues Bakery, and I thought, and it was the Blue family, and I thought, I want to be James Blue, but my name isn't James. It never was. It's Jamie. It's my given name. And I thought, Jamie Blue.
How is it spelled?
Blue.
Oh, okay.
B-L-U-E.
Maybe that could be your stage name. Because I know you like performing.
Oh, maybe next episode you'll have a different name. Anyway, what are we talking about?
So we're talking about...
Is that everything?
Cal. I think so. So we will post when the the kickoff is for the knit along. And I just want to thank everybody for all of your... There's so many people who have said that they're going to participate.
Gosh, yes.
So it will be a Zoom party.
And the pattern? What was the pattern?
The pattern?
Flax.
Jamie. It's Flax. Yes, by Tin Can Knits.
Flax.
Yes.
And thank you for that suggestion, everyone, because that's what we're going with.
Yep.
And now I am. This is how I envisioned this, but with a few changes, thanks to you. And that's how it's going to look, and it's how I imagined it. And I'm already thrilled. Looking at this, I'm very excited now.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yeah. And then the knit along, how's that going to work? Like, do I actually cast on, right?
You cast on at the party. You're going to have a big party. You're going to be the...
I'm really slow.
The hostess with the mostess.
People are going to be like this and casting on, and I'm going to be like...
No.
2, 3.
That's not true.
And people are going to be like, they'll have the collar finished, and I'll be like still doing casting on.
You'll be talking, and you'll be knitting.
I might cast on a little bit ahead of time.
And you know what I will do? I will look at the screen and answer the questions. If in chat.
I cannot. I'm still fairly new knitter, so I cannot do 2 things at once while knitting. I can't even watch a show.
That's why I don't put any bubble gum around you, because you can't chew gum and knit at the same time.
That's right.
Okay.
No, I can't watch anything. I can't do anything. I can't even speak.
Yeah.
I'll.
Don't worry. You've got a huge support system.
Because I don't make errors. Because I don't do things twice, so it's going to be just right the first time.
What I'm excited though is the fact that the first time I've heard you say that you're excited about this because of the colors. So it's fantastic. And again, you've got a huge support system out there.
And also seeing your sweater, a finished sweater like that, I just think that is incredible. Like people, I'm amazed. Like when we used to go to festivals, and you see a gazillion people with their own, oh my gosh, the variation and the variety of artistic talent out there with their, whether it be a hat or full dresses. And we remember that one woman with that down to the floor sweater coat. Oh my gosh, it was like she comes, it was like, well, imagine like Cruella de Vil, but pretty and beautiful colors. But she comes sweeping through the room, and that thing's just flaring out, and it's like, oh my gosh!
She owned the room.
and who's the young lady? That gorgeous young lady. And we saw her at Rhinebeck, and she dresses in very period.
Oh yeah,
very
yeah.
period. Oh my gosh, her dresses and her sweaters and her her skirts.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing that. So I can't imagine that and pulling on a sweater that I actually made. This is incredible.
Yeah,
it's
exciting. It's really exciting.
I think people take it, the average person, I think, would just take it for granted that you're wearing a sweater. If take someone, just anybody who's never been to a festival, take someone who's just walking through a mall and say, hey, come on over here, and plop them in the middle of Rhinebeck and just view the fashion parade going by.
Yeah.
They would not believe that these people all made their own outfits, their clothes.
Yeah.
And when I'm prancing down at Rhinebeck in my onesie, bell-bottom onesie, knitted pants.
I can't wait to see that.
Remember Catherine Fan?
Oh
she
my
had
gosh!
A beautiful pair.
Yes, it is gorgeous. Out of granny squares.
I was going to wear
beautiful.
that. Well, it wasn't. It was in Toronto Fashion Week.
Yeah,
but I imagine myself prancing down, the Rhinebeck runway in that outfit.
I don't even know where to go with this.
Well, that's going to be my next project.
I did want to say to you, though...
First a sweater, then a onesie. A pantsuit.
I did want to say, Jamie, you were talking about you haven't been able to see or appreciate a lot of people's work in sweaters since Rhinebeck. There's something called Instagram. And people post pictures of their sweaters on the Insta. So once you get on there... you'll see there's a whole world. It's going to be like you describing the person plopping them into the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, Rhinebeck, and seeing everyone's sweaters.
So
it'll be you. I'll plop you into the Instagram world, and you'll see all of these sweaters.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the next time we see everyone at the festival.
Yes.
A festival, any festival, anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm so excited about the next topic.
Yes.
Really super excited.
Let's move this over here.
Partly because I had to keep a secret.
Well, what's the secret?
And I didn't even tell you about it.
I know that. Well, they already know this. They know. They know that there's always hidden agendas, hidden questions, secret, yeah,
Secret handshakes.
secret handshakes.
Okay, so a few months ago,
Yes, but
Emma.
a few months ago.
Emma from the Grey Sheep Company
Yes, Emma.
through Instagram
What a mess.
sent me a DM.
What's a DM? Oh gosh, what's a DM again? DM. Don't tell me. That's it. Don't tell me.
Yeah,
Don't.
yeah, direct message.
Direct- No, what
so
is
it's
a
private.
DM?
Direct message.
Oh.
So she sent me a
Why
message,
did I
and she basically
I'm embarrassed.
said,
I'm actually very embarrassed. I didn't know that. I've never heard that before.
"I'm not
direct
surprised."
message.
Anyway, I'm not surprised. So do you remember meeting Emma and Neil?
Yes.
Yes.
Fana?
Yes.
Yeah. Weren't we supposed to go for a cocktail with them?
A pint.
A
afterwards.
pint, not a cocktail, because when beer, yeah.
Yes.
Local beer.
It was a local. It was a local brewery
Little-
on Fano. It was
Yeah.
a microbrewery there.
We walked past it, or we went, and then what happened?
I can't remember what happened.
I remember we did go. We passed it. We were there,
And I think we passed out
outside,
in our
and then
room. Like it was.
we missed. I think our
exhausted.
time was off.
I can't remember what
Our
happened.
timing was off, but
And so anyway, back to Emma, and so yeah, we met them. Wonderful people. Fell in love
Yes.
immediately with the booth. Oh my God, the colors that come out of her company. It's just absolutely beautiful. Emma does all the dyeing herself.
yeah, she talked about her sheep,
Yeah,
and
and
her
her-
farm, and
And her wool is
like,
beautiful.
wow.
Her wool is absolutely beautiful. So she sent me a message, a DM.
DM,
And she said,
a direct
I have
message.
top secret news. I have purchased a mill.
Is it still top secret?
Not anymore.
Well, no, but that's not for you to tell. You don't tell a secret. A secret is a secret.
She was on Christy Glass 2 days ago.
Okay,
And-
we'll just tell you. just you.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. No, she was on Christy Glass 2 days ago.
Oh.
Or 3 days ago now. And then I sent her a message. And she sent me a
Okay.
message. And I just said, because the reason she sent me, see, I'm so excited, I'm jumping all over the place. She sent me some yarn. And she said, you can dye, why don't you have fun dyeing with it? And so I was so excited about that. And
Okay.
back to so she set up a mill, and that was the top secret thing. I wasn't allowed to say anything.
The mill is
So I didn't-
the mill is new.
The mill is an addition to their farm. So they have
Oh.
sheep. They have over 450 sheep, and they shear the sheep. Susie manages the sheep at the farm, and
She's the shepherdess.
she's the shepherdess. Yes, and then they basically have a mill, so they can process the yarn, and it's all on their site.
Yeah, because I remember, we've seen her in interview, and
Yes.
she did mention how, as most, when you have to send it off to a mill, like it could take easily a year before you get the wool back. So imagine.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Imagine that
Yeah.
you could produce it right there and have it on hand. Just put in the work. Just put in that hard work from sheep to shearing. Everything else you do before it gets to the mill, and then she could just produce it and then not have that
Yep.
anxiety of waiting and anticipating for the final product to come back.
Anticipation. Yep.
And so
Do you know
it-
that? Remember Carly Simon's song "Anticipation"?
No, I don't even know that song.
Oh, you're way too young for that.
Before my time.
Way before your time.
Way before. Now what?
Okay.
Now what did Emma send you?
So Emma sent me,
And Emma's from the Grey Sheep Company.
yes,
Correct.
yeah, which is in England,
Mm-hmm.
in I think.
Okay.
And so that is the Gotland.
And it's wonderful.
Absolutely
And the
beautiful.
color is amazing.
But the Gotland is gorgeous, and I've noticed that not all Gotland are created equally. And so, and
That's right.
do you remember where Gotland came from?
Yeah.
Where?
Gotland.
Gotland Island, in Sweden.
That's right.
Yes.
Because let me tell you a little something that I know about Gotland.
Hold on, let me wind you up.
Let me have a little sip of coffee just to
Uh-oh,
get me
we're-
going. And here we go.
Okay, put your seatbelts on, people.
Okay, so no, this is short.
Okay,
Honestly, it's the
Jamie
shortest
short or
version.
short?
No, short.
Okay.
Okay, just Gotland. Some of you may already know, as you mentioned, on the island, a small island, Swedish island, Gotland. The Vikings were the first to establish sheep in the area, as they did in many areas in the Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden, Iceland. So they were great sheep farmers and shepherds themselves. So they brought along, the Gotland's a descendant of the first sheep that they brought over, and on their expeditions out in deep within Russia, they brought back Karakuls, is that how you say it? Karakul and Romanov sheep, and then they bred them with the local, and I think it's pronounced Gute, Gute, which is a very primitive early breed native to the island
Of goats?
of Gotland.
Oh.
On the Gotland island, and so they were bred with the local sheep, and this became the Gotland. And Gotland was then further developed within the association in the 1920s and 1930s. They further, through select breeding and very controlled breeding, they then result in the Gotland that we have today with the beautiful, it's a long wool, short-tailed breed, long wool sheep.
Yeah.
So long staples, very silky soft and lustrous.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and then the colors usually vary between shades of gray, from like beautiful light gray to a pewter to almost, this one is very silver. You could see the sheen to it, and almost to a dark black, almost to a black. And now that's about it for the Gotland.
Awesome. And I'll say one thing about Gotland. Gotland makes dyers look good because I dyed that in indigo, and it just picks up the color so beautifully.
Yeah. And the sheen, you could see the sheen.
Yeah, the luster is so beautiful in it. It's so nice to dye with. I love it, and it's nice to wear as well. So I was super excited about that. Okay, so that's one.
Okay.
The next one is very, very special.
Is it?
What breed is this?
I don't know.
Stein.
You mentioned Stein, and I hadn't heard of Stein
Yes.
before, but I do know a little bit from what we've
Yeah, so
heard.
Emma and Susie developed Stein, a breed called Stein.
breed of their own,
Stein fine wool. Yes,
That's incredible.
it's incredible. And they married a Gotland sheep with merinos, and
can imagine.
very fine merinos. And the wonderful thing about this is that what you end up with is a yarn that has a micron count of 19.
Wow.
So that's the micron count is the width, the diameter of the circumference. Pardon me. It's the hair measurement of the hair, and 19 is fine wool, is really nice. So you've got the softness of the merino, and you have the luster of the Gotland.
That is incredible because everyone knows merino. I mean, it's known worldwide. We've talked about merino a gazillion times, and the super softness. I mean, it's world renowned. Merino. It's been forever a staple of you think of luxury when you talk about merino and the softness. So as you mentioned, blend that with this beautiful Gotland that adds the luster and the sheen and the long staples and its softness. So it's almost like a double softness, merino with the Gotland. And they called and why Stein?
I thought it was going to be after stone. Well, German Stein is stone. So, but that I was wrong. No, it's not at all.
I think Stein.
It's the forest area that they're in is known as Stein, like the forest there.
The area?
Yeah, where they're farming.
Okay.
There's an ancient forest, and it's Stein.
So
Stein Forest.
And is it because is it like a conservation thing with that forest, and that's very special?
Well, the whole land actually.
I know they're all about conservation, and they're doing a whole lot of that around their land and property,
yes.
And they do a lot for. So
yeah, the Gray Sheep Company is not just about wool.
Yeah.
Or at least Emma's not just about wool. She has the Gray Sheep Company, but she also does a lot with respect to sustainability on her farm and her fields. and she won a big award.
That's right.
I think it was in 2019 in the
gosh.
UK. It was Farmers Weekly, and it was Diversification Farmer of the Year.
Of the year.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Well, it is a big deal. It's like,
Yeah.
picture like the sheep Oscars.
Yeah, that's what that's just what it was like.
It's
yeah.
huge. And you know, because we
The
watched a
sheep
bit of
Oscars,
that.
the farming Oscars.
The farming, yeah. It's not
Yes.
about. It's not so much about the sheep. It's about it's the farmer.
Yeah.
So the farming sheep farmers Oscars, but it's in a category that is so very very unique or niche or very like to diversify and to come up with something new and innovative
Yeah.
to change the landscape of the sheep and the whole breeding and the marketplace of sheep and wool within the entirety of the UK is incredible.
Yeah.
And then
And she had stiff competition as well.
it's stiff competition, but
Yeah.
and these people, you know, and they had great plan, great you know, what they sort of invented or were doing, whether it be for the environment, for something innovative, new, and yeah.
And so the objective that she was trying to meet on all of this was that there was this perception that Britain cannot, or in the UK you cannot produce fine wool. And
Okay.
and this and here is the Stein is an example of yes you can.
Oh,
And
gosh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. It's a fantastic product. I loved dyeing with it. Did we talk about the dyeing?
I got not that one.
I got goosebumps too just talking about this. So this is marigold and indigo.
Absolutely.
Look at how it plumps up as well.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Once you put it in water and then dye, and it
Yeah.
plumps up quite nicely.
And this skein, I mean, it's so. This is wound a little tighter, so but the plumpness.
It's
and
the same
softness is
size.
there.
It's the same
Yeah,
weight.
It's the same yarn. Well,
It's the same
it's just-
yarn. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That picked up the colors beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. I can't believe that. I mean, who? I mean, we've talked about all the different breeds of sheep. A lot of them, you know, they've come around. A lot of them were at the turn of the century, the last century, like the late 1800s into the early 1900s, and right up until, you know, between the industrial period and into even up until the 70s, 1970s, have they done this. But it seems like that's where it stops. But all of these breeds were established, well established, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So to come up with a concept to say, I mean, okay, I'm going to create a new breed of sheep with a new and improved wool on your own with herself and her shepherdess who together,
Susie. Yes.
Susie,
Yeah.
and they're going to do this, and they've done it, and the successful
It's
show,
amazing. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
She developed her own breed of sheep, and she
Yeah.
named it the Stein, and
Yeah.
here is the product of that breed, and it's only a matter of time before it becomes it becomes a part of an association or breed, because it's an absolutely brand new breed of sheep.
And do you know where the largest Gotland sheep farm is in the UK?
I think it's hers.
Is
Is it?
Yes.
Well, of course, 450 sheep.
She started with 7.
7 sheep?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and then it just grew and grew and grew.
Someone got carried away.
I've started making plans, by the way. So next,
gosh.
you're supposed to be going to Fashion Week next year.
I am.
Yes, with
Apparently.
your nephew.
Apparently.
And so while you're doing that, I'm going to sneak over.
I don't think so.
And you're going to either while you're there in Paris, I will be somewhere in the UK. I'll either be camped out on a boat in the river amongst the marigolds with with river knits,
on the riverboat.
or I'll be hiding in the
riverboat,
mill. I'll be hiding in the mill at the Grey Sheep.
But you know what's
Company.
incredible is because, so when we met Emma and her husband
Neil.
back then, Neil, that was already, has to be 3 years ago?
4, I don't know.
Gosh, it's been a while,
Or 5.
and we were so excited about. It sounded so amazing to that. One day we'd visit her farm, and now even since then, how far she's come, even in these last couple of years, with her own mill, her own breed of sheep, where she's won a national, like a top award, one of the tops that you could get, is incredible. And I'm even now after seeing some of that, a bit of a documentary that we watched.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm more excited than ever to actually go see this whole production.
We'll put a link to that to
Absolutely
to her website.
amazing. So
And
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Say
saying,
congratulations.
well, yeah, congratulations for that. It's incredible.
And I was also going to say that I have now seen your dye studio, and there's enough room in there for a cot. so don't be surprised if you see a Canadian in the corner
He'll never come
in
back.
a plaid shirt.
He's moving
camped out in your studio.
And the work that it, could you imagine the work involved? So now,
yeah.
put this into perspective. So, you have 450 sheep. So, I mean, what happens in lambing season? I mean, jeepers. And then, okay, they need to shear 450 sheep. And then how many
I think
tons-
Susie
how
Susie
many-
also does the shearing as well.
Yeah, she does. They do everything.
And I think she's had sheep since she was 12.
Wow.
And so she manages the shearing, and she takes a few in at a time and manages it that way. And apparently the Gotland
still
sheep
gotta
don't
do-
like to be they don't like to sit on their rears, so they're a little more difficult to shear. And we
Yeah.
know someone who had a Gotland sheep farm, and they thought that
Is it just over there?
they thought their sheep were crazy.
They were great.
They're beautiful.
Oh, they had like
absolutely
what? They had
beautiful
like a
sheep.
dozen or so, 20,
Yeah,
something like that.
going around their front lawn.
Yeah, just down there, about
Yeah.
20 minutes that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the Grey
And they're
Sheep
one of your
Company.
favorite sheep. You've always said you like that sheep
Oh yeah.
specifically.
Well, it was actually the Grey Sheep Company that got me interested in.
Oh,
Gotland
after.
sheep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't even know that. I
Yeah.
thought it was just okay.
See, you keep learning stuff while you.
And I didn't even put. Oh my gosh, I'm not even putting two together. I keep talking about my Gotland on my sweater and this Gotland, and I'm not even putting it, equating it to the Gotland sheep.
One thing I forgot to do before we leave the Grey Sheep Company is we have to bring out our yarn study again.
Okay. And what
So-
have we here?
So we
Our
have
yarn study.
yeah. So this is the merino.
Okay.
You don't need to put on your glasses for this.
How do I know it's the merino?
Trust me.
It's the merino.
And then this one is the Gotland.
Okay. Gotland.
So
and
they
merino.
took that and this, and they made
Oh my gosh, they're like
this.
it's interesting because they're equally as soft, and
Well-
but this one has a little more texture, so a slight texture to it, and you could see the sheen if it's picking up on that.
Oh, yeah.
light, you could see that
Because merino has
sheen.
more of a matte.
Yeah.
to it. So
Like,
this
when you
brings
look
the
at the
luster.
reflection of the light, you could just see the variations in the shades of gray. It's beautiful.
I mean, this is much softer than the Gotland, but the Gotland has a
Well, that's
Sheen-
what I'm
uh,
saying.
sheen
I
to
wouldn't
it, like-
say it's much softer.
well, it's a different feel.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it.
Stein.
So we got to bring out our breed study again and talk about it, even though I forgot halfway through. But yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's in my dye pot other than these two things? I've been doing a lot of dyeing.
You've been doing a lot of coloring.
Yes,
A lot of coloring.
and because we're getting ready for the show. For
We have a
Knit
show?
City is next week.
Already?
Yeah, are you ready?
No.
So we've been doing a lot of dyeing, and you can hold that one
Oh, that's... Love
or
it.
that one.
Is that the same?
Yep,
So what do we have here?
you guess.
Well, let me guess. Well, is this the merino?
Oh, we're gonna start with the wool.
Well, I don't... What is it?
I thought you were gonna guess the color.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, so it is blue-faced Leicester.
Oh, BFL.
Yes,
That's a gorgeous... BFL is a gorgeous wool as well.
and I've used indigo
Mm-hmm.
and marigold
And what's the other?
and mugwort.
Oh, mugwort.
Yeah.
You used that mugwort last time in those rusty bordering on reds, and
Yeah.
that's why then you could see this rustiness to the yellow. It's probably the mugwort.
Yeah. So that's
That turned out beautifully.
so that is one of them. I also did Brazil wood and marigold.
Is there any mugwort in this?
No.
Oh.
But what I did was I used a ceramic pot rather
Yeah.
than stainless steel pot, and that made my marigold darker.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible too. Oh, that's just the overlap then.
Yes, that's the overlap.
Oh, that's why, because it almost looked very similar to the mugwort, but it's the overlap on the, what did you say this was?
That is
Brazil wood?
Brazil wood. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous too. And what's this wool?
That is, let me see what that is. That is the organic merino.
Oh, very good.
Okay, you have something to show us as well.
I do.
Yes. It is a kit. So we've got the kit that we are launching on at Knit City, and it is merino, Qiviet, cashmere, and silk, and it feels like butter. It's so soft.
This is probably the softest wool I've ever felt.
It's really nice. Well, you can't hold. Why don't you give me one to hold?
Because I like it. It's cashmere, it's Qiviet, it's silk, it's merino.
It's
I mean,
really
are
nice.
those not the top? I mean, if you think of luxury as in terms of softness, and I mean, wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than that, I don't think, unless it's 100% Qiviet, but this has Qiviet in it, along with the other three.
Merino, silk, and cashmere.
Wow.
Yes. And so I think it was a perfect marriage with this project because we reached out to Julie Crawford and we just interviewed her. So if you haven't checked that out, check that interview out as well. She talks about the yarn and working with the yarn, and her pattern is beautiful. It's really nice, and I think it complements the yarn beautifully. So
absolutely. I mean, I know she was mentioning how with the variation in the in this pinkish color and the hues, the way the light catches the luster of it all, and super soft. She said she wasn't parting with any of it, by the way.
She's going to keep it.
But yeah, she was able to make. So what's great about this is because, I mean, seriously, we know that the Qiviet is one of the, the Qiviet is it's hard to come by.
Yeah.
And this is also, as you mentioned, this blend was very special, and it's a one-of-a-kind blend. So it's absolutely special. She loved it. We love it. And so we're, as Christopher mentioned, we're very excited about it. So we have it in this color.
And what is that dye?
What
Do you remember? Do you remember what it is?
Well, you made it.
Oh, Brazil wood.
I know what it is. Of course I do. Yeah.
It's Brazil wood.
And, of course, the blue.
Is indigo.
Which is the indigo.
Yeah.
And
it takes up the yarn quite nicely. It takes up the color quite nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. So she was able to come up with this beautiful, I guess it's like, it's somewhere between a cowl, a very loose-fitting cowl, and it comes a little narrow around there. Well, we'll show you. You'll see it.
Yep.
And she came up with that pattern using just the one skein, which is very good because it's going to be something very special. And also, so we're launching it come the weekend.
On the weekend, like less than a week away.
Oh, is it less than a week?
Yes. So we better get cracking.
And what's great is, what is also going to be coming up not long after that will be Mother's Day.
Yes.
So what about a great idea for these kids come up?
Yes.
But we'll be showing.
Did you do sales in your prior life?
No, but I worked for special events where I was a product specialist.
Oh, that makes sense. I totally understand that. You probably knew everything about the product, where the product was made.
Oh my gosh, let's not go there. Okay, can I tell one story? Do we have time?
Sure.
Do we have time? Because it has to do about product specialists. So picture it. I'm working at a home show. And the big thing about the Toronto home show, and it's huge, right? It's huge. And everybody shows up to go to the dream home, which they actually build a home, all these rooms with incredible products, down from everything in each room.
Sure.
So my job is to do the dining room. The dining room is my room. So people come through the door, and I get asked a question like, oh, and I'm standing there and like, oh, hi. Oh, what are you, a wallflower? I'm no word of a lie. Wallflower. I'm like,
did they say, okay, did you say, yes, I'm the pansy? Or
I had a lot of things I wanted to say. But I'm a professional and I'm hired as the product specialist. And I went, after everything else through my mind that I wanted to say, I was like, no, actually, I'm a product specialist. I said, do you have a question? Maybe I could tell you a little bit about the room. Okay, well, tell us. I said, okay, well, here you have Benjamin Moore. It's number 212, pink color. It's what was it? Paradise Pink by Benjamin Moore. And here we have a granite countertop by Gibson Countertops from the quarry that's about 200 miles from here. And you can find them at booth 192 down in the south end of the building. And here you have a table by such and such, and engineered hardwood floor by such and such and such and such. And over here here you see this rosewood wine cellar by such and such, and their booth could be found at down aisle K, booth number such and such. I literally have about 2 pages of every product in that room, from the chairs, the table, the paint, the floor, the fireplace mantle. And so I went on and on like this. And then he turned around and went, oh. And then I said, he
said, "Oh, you're not just a pretty face." That's what he said.
He said that, but then I made a mistake. I did a big faux pas because
is that how they say faux pas in Sudbury?
Faux pas.
Is it FOLKS?
It was 2 young fellas with their brand new little baby.
Oh,
and the little baby,
the baby.
You can't say that. Little baby all in blue, lovely little baby. And I said, oh my gosh. That was the first thing I said afterwards. I said, oh my gosh, what an adorable. I said, what's his name? Lucy. Y'all have a nice day now. Experiences.
I can't believe you assumed that blue would be a boy. Jeez.
I know. This is it, right? I mean, and this was a few years back, but
yeah.
Hey, I don't know. You know, it's like I made a big mistake. It's like, what? Blue? Oh, gosh, let's not go there. But those are my product specialist days.
Excellent. So I just wanted to, I wanted to mention that we, again, are going to be there on the 10th. So
where are we going to
10
be
o'clock,
again?
Knit City. Someone did ask, a couple people asked, what is Knit City? Knit City is a virtual festival, and you can go and register on, I'll put the link to register for Knit City Virtual, and there are classes you can take. There's a marketplace, and then there's things going on at night. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, it's like any other festival.
It's like any other festival.
Only it's online now, because again, and Knit City out of Vancouver originally, yes. Correct?
Yeah.
And they were about to launch their very first Knit City Montreal,
yes.
Which a lot of friends of ours.
We're in the Montreal.
Yeah. And a lot of friends of ours from, when we were at our last festivals, were all excited about coming to Canada to go to Knit City Montreal, which they hadn't been. We were excited, and then things changed, and so now they're, the Knit City virtual, in which we're going to partake.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and a number of you have said that you're going to be joining as well, so that's great to hear. We can't wait to see you and talk to you on the 10th.
And we're going to be updating the website, adding a few of these new products.
Yes.
So we're going to do that this week, I guess, leading up to, so it's all sort of in place for the weekend. Correct?
Yeah, yes, a number of you said that you wanted sweater quantities of the marigold. So I've been dying like crazy try to pump out the marigold sweaters. And I've got them in 2 different shades. One of them is the stainless steel pot that I used.
Yes.
And then the other one is the ceramic pot.
Oh, yes, which is a beautiful yellow shade as well.
So they're both great. So, yeah.
I've been seeing yellow polka dots in my dreams.
Yellow polka dots and indigo blue.
There's yellow everywhere. I've just seen marigold, and Brazil wood. Yeah. And you've been working hard.
Yeah. So it's worth it. I love doing it. It's not work though. I love doing it.
My back is killing me. Do you know how to take those bales of yarn from the back storage area to the pots my back.
Oh well. Suck it up, arms, Susie.
And my arms, watch that wool.
Yeah, but just think, we're gonna have to readjust your sweater now because your arms are gonna be so big.
I'm the washerman.
Yeah,
my arms are stretched.
We're gonna have to add at least an additional 6 inches or 6 stitches.
Yeah.
So
that's
anyway,
because I like the wider cuffs on my new sweater.
Oh, perfect. Bell bottom cuffs.
Something like that.
Bell top cuffs.
Okay, so
I've got something for you. I've got a special surprise for you.
Oh my God. Here we go. Surprise. What are we doing?
Here you go.
What is this? What's the occasion?
This is the last of our maple syrup.
What? I was looking to add some to my latte as I usually do.
Well, that's it. So it's the end. And the reason I did this is because it is maple syrup season time.
That's right.
And we are on our way today to see George at the Sugar Shack.
Maple Creek Sugar Bush. We talk about it. It's just up the hill.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because, okay, we're out of maple syrup.
Yes.
Officially, I guess.
Officially, we're out after we toast and drink this.
Okay. And how is that even possible? You know what's crazy? Okay. There's something wrong. Something's wrong here.
The caffeine's kicked in.
I think that maple sugar jug has a leak in it because we usually get the same thing every season. Once a year, we go up there at this time and
Yes.
we get, a freshly brewed batch of
Then we get a huge
maple
jug
syrup.
of it.
And we usually, when we have friends over or guests or when we've had our retreats, it's always special. We have at least one pancake breakfast.
Yes, a big pancake breakfast.
A big pancake with, a bunch of others, healthier sidekicks.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get any healthier than something that comes out of a tree. And that usually carries us through the season. But at the end of the season, we usually have about maybe this much left in the jug. And this year, we're down to nothing. And
Where did it go? How many
we
lattes
haven't-
did you drink this year?
we haven't had any guests per se in the past year. And so somehow we used up all of the maple syrup. Okay, mind you, I have been cooking with it.
I know where it's gone.
Where?
Well, I was talking about the arms not fitting in my sweater.
No, it's oh my gosh.
Zan knows where it's gone.
You got the tip going.
Maybe the extra maple syrup went to my arms.
I mean, I've done a little bit of... He's always got to make an appearance. I have done a bit of baking. We've had pancakes, but it's just kind of really strange.
Yeah.
But this is the last of it now.
Well,
Is
maybe
it?
it's because we've been doing shots of maple syrup. I don't know.
We haven't doing shots of maple
Well,
syrup.
cheers.
Okay, off to Sugarland.
Off to Sugarland. Oh my gosh, that's good. I can. Let's get in the car and go.
Oh my gosh. That's
Let's go.
like-
Let's go and take a visit.
We've been doing this, I think it says since 1986 or something like
Wow.
that. Or no, 82, I guess, since 1982. And the system here is, well, this is the bucket system, but most of our product comes from the lines and down at the other farm,
Yep.
where it's all on vacuum system and so on. And this one is a lot of work because you have to go around and you have to pick up the sap and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
The other one, it's all done by pumps and everything, so it makes it a lot easier. But it's still kind of nice to keep some of the original.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like it was.
How many acres do you have?
So I don't know, 50 acres or so.
That's awesome.
Okay, this is how we start out. I'll take this one out just to show you. In about mid-February, the third week of February, we would drill that hole right there, and we have it's a gas-powered drill that we use. I sometimes use that, but the gas power, we use those ones for the lines because the lines have smaller spiles.
Sure.
And so that works great. So to do that, just put that in like that. Have the hole drilled. Pound it in like that. And we have a whole team that comes through. They all work together. Somebody drills the hole. My son drills the hole. Somebody else puts the spile in, and somebody else puts the lid on.
Perfect.
And that's basically it. And then we wait for the weather.
Yep.
Okay. Generally in February, about mid-February, we've tapped as early as February the 14th.
Oh, jeez.
This year it was the third week of February. And last year we had a phenomenal run right up until March the 17th when we shut down because of the COVID.
Yeah.
But this year,
Wow.
the run was so in between. It was cold for a week, so you get nothing. Then we'd have a run for 2 or 3 days. Then it was hot, just like it was this past week.
Yeah.
And nothing happens. You can see there's nothing happening there today.
Yeah.
So, and that's basically what happens. Now the lines down at the other place, they are sealed tight. See, the air gets at this one, so these will heal over faster. So a lot of these have already stopped running.
Sure.
You know, and we'll be done by tomorrow for sure. Monday we'll likely be cleaning up.
Yeah.
You know, I got lots to do inside there yet. And,
Sure.
so that's basically it. They picked this up. They used a tank on the back of the ATV and so on to do the pick of this up. And
How many times, how often do you have to pick it up?
just when they're half full or more.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, if you get a good run, I've seen it happen. If you get a real cold snap and then warm that day, and if it doesn't freeze that same night
Yeah.
afterwards, it will run for 24 hours. That's about the longest you'll ever get. Generally, it just runs, you know, for like today, it may run a little bit, and then it's going to freeze again tonight, so it'll stop. Tomorrow, plus 10, and it'll need any frost after that, so we're going to quit for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Great.
Okay, if we can go inside and I'll show you what we do once we bring the sap in there. And that's where the processing gets done. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Okay.
Great to be here.
We bring it in by, you know, blowing in by with pumps and so on. That tub right behind you is where we pump it into that. We have little sump pumps here that just pumps it up into that, and then it flows through here into this evaporator system. And you can see that there's still some in there, right? And that it's all controlled by floats. This and this is very, very specific. A pan of that size with a flat bottom would be very slow.
Yeah.
But this has flues on the bottom. They go up and down like this, so it captures the heat in there. Also, there's a baffle in there, so the heat comes from there. It goes up, it goes right up into the pan, and comes back down, and that's where you get your efficiency.
Okay.
This system here is rated to take off. They say 50 to 70 gallons sap per hour, but if we get 40 or 45 or 50, we're happy. You know. So that's the first pan, okay? Then we go from there, it goes on the other side, you can't see it, but it goes through there. Another float system controls it as it comes into this front pan here. And this is where the finishing takes place. Comes in there, and each of these corners is cut away, so the sap for syrup actually goes back and forth like this, back and forth. And eventually, it comes down to here, and when it reaches what we feel is not what when we know is the right density, that's when we take it off. Now, this system was made in Quebec, and God bless them, it's okay. They that's a thermometer, and 0 on that is the boiling point of water, and 7 is likely when you take your syrup off, which is to be about 118.
Okay.
Now, we use that only as a guide, because you know right well with your atmospheric pressure, your boiling point can change, and all of those things. So we use what we call a hydrotherm, which are this type of thing here. We put the syrup in there, test it, and when it floats at a certain density, you know you've got it. It's perfect. And so in fact, I've got 2 or 3 different types of those hydrotherms there.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that's what. Otherwise, you know, like the old boys, they used to say, "Well, you stick her up like that. If it hears a little bit, well, you got her ready to go." You know. Yeah. And there are little tricks with this system. People wonder, like with a thing boiling that fast, it will boil over, but there's something that'll stop it.
Sure.
Just the smallest little, just a pinch of butter will drop that right down.
Oh, wow.
and you have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
The old boys, what they used to do, they would hang on a wire a piece of port rind, and when they boiled up and hit that, bang, down and go.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
but I don't like to use that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
and that's basically it. So when it's ready, then we take it off here, of course, and it would go into that canister right over there.
Okay.
Maybe. And
Can you talk a little bit about the color? Of
Oh,
the
I
maple
didn't even touch that. Yes. I have one here, but 2 years ago they changed the grading system. I forgot to talk about that. And the 2 years ago they would have what we call light, and then extra light, and then medium and dark and so on. The light is very confusing to people because what does light really mean? It could be less, not as thick. It could be less calories.
Sure.
All of that type of thing. So they changed it. This association changed it to golden, and then amber. Amber, which used to be medium, is now called amber. You can see the correlation there. The two are the very same. And then dark and so on. So yeah, and that's kind of clarifies that situation about the fact that stuff is light. People.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Used to. Now a lot of the old guys who've done it for years, they like making the light syrup. It's got a very strong taste. And you generally just get that at the first of the season. Most people don't want it. They want an amber or a medium, And my wife, she'll take some dark because she likes to bake with some of that, or do
That makes
various
sense.
things. Yeah, the dark. And I got a friend up north, and he always gets quite a few liters, and he wants nothing but the dark. I want the stuff that comes out of that thing at the very last, George. So which is great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So that's what they like.
Yeah.
It's actually very strong,
Yeah.
and it's it's all the same density, but people think it's different because of the color.
Yeah.
So that's the grading system. Yeah, I should have mentioned that before. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. Any other questions? Any
No.
questions you got?
What's your favorite?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of like the medium. Yeah. My wife likes the dark. I like the medium because the light is just it's not, you don't get the real good taste.
Sure.
So we use what we call the amber now. That's amber. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's good.
Great.
You guys, I've got an amber jug for you guys. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, we go through it pretty quickly.
Oh, that's good. Well, if
That's
you
what
need
we
any
do.
more, let us know.
Sure. I just wanted to thank everybody for all your fantastic comments. I love answering them. And,
Absolutely.
And we hope to see you at the Knit Along, and we also hope to see you at Knit City. So take care, everyone, and have a fantastic week.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.